Dude, this could be probably the best show we've ever watched.
You weren't with us a couple of weeks ago when we did, a couple of weeks ago when we did the because we were just talking about on the last episode how shit's getting really good because it was either the last episode or a couple of weeks ago was the episode with the I think it was last week because I called the episode the Halo Shake with the Halo Shake.
Okay.
And and it's like you can and that was, I told Aaron when we were talking about it, that was the first, as a 15-year-old I would have been when that happened. That was the first time, that show was the first ECW full on, like a full episode of ECW I actually ever got to see in my life.
Yeah, man. It's off to a good start with that one.
Yeah. Because we didn't have ECW at our house, but where our dad lived, his satellite had Sunshine Network. And they were on Sunshine Network, so it's like that's my first memory of ECW is that fucking the Halo Shake.
so was that a week behind, like the regular stuff, or was that?
Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing because of potential problems. It could have been a week behind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like getting tapes out. So I don't know, but. All I was watching this show, when it was over, I was like, what the fuck, man? It's over? Like, this was a hell of a fucking show.
Yes, it was. October 29th, 1996 is the episode of ECW we are reviewing this week on Reliving the Extreme. And as you can hear, after quite a few episodes, our man Chad Austin is back in the saddle, back on the show. Welcome back to Reliving the Extreme, Chad. Everybody missed you.
Oh, I'm sure. I saw the outpouring of nobody reaching out to me. But I'm here. I'm glad you're back, guys.
Well, Aaron missed you. Yeah, it was like that commercial with the Indian with the one tear. Uh-oh. He's back.
Indian?
He's back, and now he's gone again.
They try to get Glenn Osborne on here. Because I will not deal with that shit kicking Chris Michaels. I will tell you that much.
Man, we lost Chad, everybody there briefly. Hopefully we can get him back in here. His triumphant return fucked over by the internet on his end, but we are plugging on here. October 29th, 1996 is the ECW episode that we are going to discuss. And like Chad was,
that was so funny to me.
The Chris Michaels thing.
No, like, welcome back.
See you later. He was like Groucho Marx. Hello. Well, I must be going.
He made a whole 5 minutes. Anyway, let's keep going.
I'd love to stay, but I must be going. My favorite part of that is when he's like, it's like, in fact, I'll even stay. And they're all, yay. Yay. But I must be going.
I found a version. Well, I didn't find it. I hate when people are like, I found this. It's like, you didn't find it. Somebody else did, and they put it out there, Yeah. But there's a different version of Lydia that like makes fun of Hitler. I never heard it before.
I haven't either.
He must have like revised it during World War II or whatever. But it's basically Hitler's on her ass, and she's sitting on his face. It's funny. Yeah.
But yeah, October 29th, 1996, ECW Hardcore TV. We open up the show with the highlights from the high incident match. All right, let's see. We're going to bring Chad back in and see. All right, are we good now?
Fuck no. I'm shit. I live in the Appalachian fucking.
We just said we were like, welcome back, Chad. Goodbye, Chad.
Fuck, these hillbillies around here, they steal anything. They steal my reception, my internet. Fuck, can't keep anything around here. These fucking Appalachians.
Stealing Wi-Fi.
Fuck you, Bo James. Hillbilly ass.
Like I was just saying, we started off this episode of the show with the quick highlight of the high incident match with Brian Lee and Tommy Dreamer, which, as Aaron and I discussed a couple of weeks ago or last week, whatever, you're starting to get into those iconic moments of ECW. That, for better or for worse, that is one of the scenes from ECW that is going to be played at the beginning of every show for the rest of eternity of ECW.
Yeah, stupid Tommy Dreamer with his stupid Raven pose after he hits him with the chair. All that garbage. But we are talking about the show with Kurt Angle, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't remember seeing the Brian Lee thing. I'm going, oh.
No, it was really quick right at the beginning of the episode. They literally just showed the table spot and then moved on into the intro. You might not have even caught it even because they even like mixed the intro music in, like they like kind of mixed the intro and the scene together.
Okay, maybe now I'm starting to recall it, but yeah, it was just a quick one.
Mm-hmm.
Like this show was interesting to me because it was like it really was probably one of the last shows that I went to. Like not as a worker, I wasn't booked or anything. I was just there, like backstage, hanging out with Donnie, kind of stuff like that. And this show, I mean, we're not even doing enough of this program for me to even tell you what the hell went on backstage at this show. Let's just say that, like, when shit got heavy, all me, every other jabroni in that locker room scattered. Because we were like, we're not going to be a part of any of this, dude. This guy's going to beat up the whole entire block. You know what I mean? Like, fuck all this.
Yeah, for those of you that
remember that.
For those of you that don't know, and we're going to get into Kurt Angle's appearance here, but this was for a very specific reason, Kurt Angle's only appearance with ECW.
We're going to get there in the future weeks.
I have a feeling that I remember. I think Axel was back there with me, and I think he thought it could have been Hack, but I think it was Axel that thought that he was going to try to like go into business for himself. You know what I mean? And do something. And I'm so glad he didn't say like, "Hey man, you got my back." Something goes down. No. This is fucking Kurt Angle.
Absolutely not.
No, like, what's the matter with you? Go to Memphis, dummy.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to kiss my own asshole today. Yeah, I'm not gonna be messing with Kurt Angle.
Dude, this whole entire locker room thing was eggshells, just waiting to be broken. That was the whole entire mindset of the whole entire locker room. Just fucking don't say a word. Just sit there. If you gotta do drugs, go away. Go far away. You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here if you gotta do anything stupid. What a night that was, dude.
Well, we open the show with Joey Styles in the ring. He intros the show, obviously. He refers to WWF and WCW both having Olympic athletes. Of course, he refers to the WWF having Mark Henry.
Fuck yeah, Mark Henry.
They played a fine line here. They didn't insult Mark Henry, but they weren't trying to insult someone. They were just trying to put over Kurt Angle. The fact that Kurt Angle was a gold medalist. But then the WCW, he says, what is it? Matt DeFori? Who the fuck is that?
I have no idea.
The Maharaji?
It's probably some guy that they had in the power plant, and he worked a couple pro shows and was done. I have no fucking idea. I don't remember the guy.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing him on TV for sure.
You know me with WCW, and I'd remember him. I don't remember the guy at all.
Yeah, well, he was like the dude with the foot. What's his name?
No, Jerry Flynn.
Jerry Foot. That's who it was.
Thunderfoot.
They just threw a hood on him. Yeah, I don't know who this fucking. You talking about the little tiny guy?
No. I'm just because Joey talks about WWF having an Olympic person, Mark Henry, and then he talks about WCW having some guy. I think he said his name was Matt DeForey, who is a silver medalist in the Olympics. But I have no idea who this Matt DeForey is. I don't recall this gentleman ever.
Well, I mean, at least he wasn't a bronze medalist. He's even less memorable. Poor guy.
Then
he was headlining Deep South.
Then Joey introduces to the ECW arena Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. And then out to meet Kurt Angle before his match with Taz is little Guido. And my question to you guys is, did you guys see the NXT from the 2300 this week?
Sure.
Man, Guido, like, so small. He's so small now. It was almost like I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in a really long time. And like, it was shocking how like he doesn't have any muscle mass or anything anymore. I don't know. I mean, I know it's been fucking 25 years. I get it. But he's one of those guys, I guess I haven't seen him age. So seeing him aged was kind of a shock.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily look at it like, I look at it like, yeah, he's aging because he is my age. But he looks good because he leaned down. Because when he was like full-time working, like there was a time where me and him were like running neck and neck for 185, somewhere hovering around at 200 pounds. Because that was like TV wrestling kind of weight. But he does like all that other stuff, that MMA and that wrestling stuff. And he still competes at a relatively high level, like for his age. Mm-hmm. So I thought he was in great shape. I mean, yeah, he was small, but he's a small guy.
Right.
But yeah, I understand what you mean. He didn't have like that bulk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like I said, and again, it was probably just because I hadn't seen him in so long. Some people, you watch them age and you don't really notice. You know what I mean? It's not like you don't see them. You see them at least once, twice a year or something. So it's not like, okay, so I haven't seen Guido in probably 10, 15 years. So it was just like, wow, he's just completely different. Not saying anything negative about it. Just
I've seen Guido probably twice, maybe in the last 10 years. So, I mean, I guess it wasn't that much of a thing to me, but I kind of just looked at it like, yeah, man, we're both in the same boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do you got? Throat? Foot cancer? What do you got? But he looked all right, man. He did a good job.
Oh yeah, the match was really good that he was in. But so Guido comes out and gives the little an honor to meet you, Mr. Angle. Shakes the hand, and then we get Taz out to face little Guido. Taz gets introed, and Taz puts over Angle, obviously, but he also heals it up a little bit.
Yeah, gives him some backhanded compliments.
Yeah,
probably because of the way, I'm sure a lot of this had to do with the way that Kurt was backstage. Because Taz is not like a generally like a dick like that. Not, really.
Right.
But I mean, he was probably like, who the fuck? You know what I mean? This guy's got like 10 people around him, like watching everything he's doing and all. And I'm sitting here underneath the stairway where we get bogus checks from, and this guy's walking around like he owns the place. But I could see it. But Taz was great.
Yeah, the gist of it.
I'm a fan of the backhanded compliment.
Yeah,
I love when I hear people give them, or I figure out a way to do it. I love the backhanded compliment. It's a great thing.
Oh, of course, at Walmart, how can you fucking not? or right to their face compliment, slap in the face.
Yeah, so essentially the gist of Taz's promo is he says that he thought about being on the Olympic team, but he'd rather do this on TV as a pro and make money. He tells Kurt he's a great amateur wrestler. He won't take that away from him, but Taz, is a great pro wrestler.
That's awesome, man. That's a great. I mean, that's a spark for a great like feud, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the spark.
I don't know if you guys thought. I don't know if you guys thought about this or whatever, but like this was when they actually thought, ECW thought they were going to get Kurt, and it's crazy because their first idea was, oh, let's have Kurt and Taz have some interaction and see what happens. So Kurt made his debut interacting with Taz, and then when Taz goes to Vince, he makes his debut interacting with Kurt. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
Oh, right on.
But it's like nothing really ever even came out of that one either. You know what I mean? It's like, So two different minds had the same idea, and we just never really got an actual full-blown feud between these guys.
You probably had it looking like this. Then Angle came into Taz's world, where Taz was the big fish, and then fast forward, Taz was a fucking ham. That was handing out flyers or whatever before the show, and then he came into Kurt's world. So you're looking at like two different scenarios. Kurt probably looked at him like, "Oh, you remember this guy? Who is this guy?"
Peter Sriracha? What?
Yeah. What his bastard son? Crook?
So the match itself that we're going to see now is Taz versus Little Guido, and Kurt Angle joins Joey Styles on commentary.
He's slightly more informed than Art Donovan about how pro wrestling works.
A little bit. Did he know what a side headlock was or something? He said something.
He knew some of the moves. He knew the moves. That's why I was saying he's slightly more informed than Art Donovan. But everything else, he was like, why is he just standing there? Like, why isn't he getting him? How do you get out of it? Oh, you grab the ropes. Okay. I understand now. It's like, oh my God.
How much does that guy weigh?
Yeah. He wasn't asking weight and height.
Now I wonder if Paul went to the guys and said, "Hey, look, Kurt's going to be doing like commentary posting this probably. Do stuff that he'll know." You know what I mean? Like, don't like make him look stupid by doing a bunch of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if Paul had any of that input in the Taz telling him to do stuff like that.
I would assume so, just because it's Paulie, and he knows what the situation is, and he knows how he wants the story to be framed. So I'm sure he had some input. Like you could tell a lot with ECW that the promoter, that Paulie, the creative guy, doesn't really get too involved in how the guys structure their matches. But when it's mission critical as far as the story goes, I'm sure he has some input.
Right. I probably believe that too.
Now Taz gets the victory over Little Guido after the Taz mission. And then Angle puts him over, says what a great job he did. And then Taz says, when his promo is essentially, he turns his attention to Sabu, pretty much. I've been calling this guy out for a year. My patience has run out. And I was so thankful. At one point I saw it, and Chad, you haven't been here. The past couple of weeks, as much as we love Fonzie, on the ECW show the past couple of weeks, he's been really fucking annoying. And not in like the good annoying. Like he's been like really, really annoying. Like he's trying to start chants that don't formulate into a chant, like things like that. And I saw him grab the mic and I was like, no, not again, not again. And then he didn't say anything.
Like he's getting a little too much with the whistle, and then he started to try the chant. He tried to get people to chant, who can stop the path of rage? Like that's not a chant. Like he was literally just had the mic and was like, "Who can stop the path of rage? Who can stop the path of rage?" And everybody's just looking at him like, "Shut the fuck
that's
up."
what he said. Because on my closed caption, I thought it said Istanbul and Constantinople.
That would have been awesome.
I don't think anybody knew what the hell he was saying.
Picture Fonzie in that voice. Istanbul and Constantinople.
Yeah. And then they bring in the Turk. That would have been all right.
Yeah, Fonzie. I'm guessing that Fonzie's probably going to go away for a little while because we already got the payoff. What? How many was it? A couple months ago with the chokeslam. So, like, what's left now? Now you got to build them. Now you got to make them. Now you got to tear them down to build them back up again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't remember what happened after this, but he has to probably at some point, take something to go away or something. Probably rehab, honestly.
It's very likely. Let's put it that way. Well, after this segment, Joey comes back, says that the ECW were honored to have Kurt Angle, and that he is after turning down offers from the WWF and WCW, Kurt Angle has endorsed ECW. That does not age well.
Right.
That does not age well within 24 hours.
We had to bust this Angle into 2 episodes because of this shit.
I don't think it was 24 hours. I think it was about, it was like 3. I mean, give or take if you heard the whole argument or not.
And the time it takes you to make your Thanksgiving turkey, Kurt Angle was in and out.
Fuck yeah, he was, dude. He had all them people with him and shit, and it was kind of ridiculous. Like, I tried to shake his hand. I literally did because I was just like, hey man, this is pretty cool. I'm never gonna meet an Olympian guy, and the dude saluted me. Like, he didn't want to shake my hand. He just saluted me. Like, I'm not a veteran. Like, I only been in the business probably 6 years. Yeah, but it was crazy, dude. The guy, you really could not, and I can't address this enough, that you really could not find somebody who was way more out of place, like in a situation than this whole entire night. He just did not belong there, and he wasn't
a wrestling guy either. Like he was an amateur wrestling guy, but he'll readily admit he didn't know anything about pro wrestling. He didn't like it,
No.
And then he's gonna foray into it. WWE before this had already tried to contact him and get him signed, and he said no. So this is like his first walking into a locker room
of
professional wrestling, and he's got to be like, "What the fuck is this?"
I'm telling you, dude, you don't even know how great it was.
It's like starting to him. It's like starting your retail career at Family Dollar. It's fucking crazy in here.
Yeah, this is just to him. That was what professional wrestling was.
That's exactly what he thought too.
And like when you read his book too, like he talks about WWF offered him, I forget how much they offered him in '96 after he won the medal, and he turned them down. And then when he went back, he signed with them in like 98.
98, yeah.
When he went try to go back when he went back in '98, he tried to get the same amount of money, and they were like,
"The shine's off,
absolutely
my friend."
Not. Yeah, nobody knows who you are anymore.
Well, he must have had the conversation with Mark Henry. Mark Henry being the first $1 million guy they signed. Mm-hmm. And Kurt probably didn't like the deal. And then he went to Mark Henry, and Mark Henry was like, "Oh, brother. Oh, hell yeah. I'm telling you, the next figure is not going to be so good." You better take this while the getting's good.
But yeah, so after the Kurt Angle endorsing ECW, we get Shane Douglas, of course, the TV champion. He's going to wrestle Cody Michaels.
Fuck yeah. The great Cody Michaels.
Give me a little.
I wrote Paul Loria. That's what I thought it was. I mean, did you? I mean, who?
First,
yeah, I mean, he didn't.
Like,
he didn't.
At first,
I
saw it. At first, I thought it was, but I was like, oh no, this guy's a little too big.
He didn't look like. I didn't know Cody Michaels ever even wrestled in ECW, but he didn't look like Cody Michaels looked like any appearance of Cody Michaels that I ever remember seeing.
That's not any of the Cody Michaels that we remember. That was just some other guy named Cody Michaels. I know who you're thinking of. That was not him.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking about like the guy that wrestled in the Sportatorium and shit.
That guy was like his left foot or something. Like he was not Cody Michaels.
I think this was a guy because they said he was from Pittsburgh and like the Pittsburgh area or whatever. I don't know. I could be off kilter saying this or whatever, but I think this was an indie guy that Shane liked. And I think he probably was just he brought him in like just might be this guy like maybe Shane was training him or whatever.
Yeah, totally feasible. Not a problem.
Because I mean the match is good. Shane gives him some shit, So
that's what I'm saying. Like Shane gave him a lot, and it's like it just seemed totally random for it to just be like, oh, we brought this Cody Michaels guy in. Let's put him in there with Shane. Like Shane probably said, hey, this is a kid I like. Let's see what he can do. Like let me show you what he can do.
Not to go too far deep into it, but Shane's already beat all of us. You know what I mean? So most of us a couple of times, so that's fine. Bring, if you like the guy and the kick and work, and you feel comfortable with him, then that's fine with me. That's cool. But we never saw what's his name again? Cody Michaels again, whatever his name was. Whatever.
Yeah. Pitbull 2 tries to get involved before the match.
I think he was lost. Did he look lost when he walked to the ring? Yeah, like he was trying to look for his car or something. Like he actually kind of wandered out to the ring. Like when a match was going on, he like walked around like the hard camera side, the front side, and he was just kind of like walking. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
And Carrot Top of the J Bones come out and try to break it up.
Well, that guy's the best.
Shows Carrot Top out there. Same guy that Brian Pillman beat up.
Yeah, that guy, he's wearing the whatever the Revolution shirt was. That guy's really going to start a revolution.
So I was like, man, these guys are a band. They're Carrot Top of the J Bones.
J Bone.
There's only one of bad attitude there or whatever. Like
bad crew.
Bad crew, yeah, bad crew. There's only one bad crew. Bad crew 1, bad crew 2. He's already been
bad. Is that bad or is that crew?
He was already getting stomped in the corner. Like, there was no ring introduction, no nothing. He was already getting beat up. He walked through the ring and just went right to the corner and sat down.
Yeah, it's essentially Carrot Top and all of Sal Balomo's group keeps trying to break this up and it ain't working.
But no Sal.
Forget about it. He's like, forget about it.
Forget about it.
For the kids.
I'm not gonna tell you what. I'm gonna.
What's the matter with you?
I'm gonna build this sailboat. They should have had Sal Balomo build a sailboat like he did on TNT, but build it in the ECW locker room. Like instead of how in the TNT he had like little pictures of the WWF wrestlers and stuff. ECW arena's got little baggies of Coke and shit as the sails.
and a big bag of green.
Naked tits.
What?
He's making it out of a hustler.
This is sailboat. This is sailboat will get you high.
New Jack's doing the Leonardo DiCaprio King of the World on the front of Sal Palomo's ship.
Missy's tits are on the front of the boat.
Yeah. Ricky Morton's still lost. Has no idea where he's at. All kinds of stuff going on that we should be seeing. Instead, we're watching this.
What the fuck are we talking? Oh, we're talking about Shane Douglas and Cody Michaels. But yeah, like I said, this match is actually pretty fucking good. Shane gives this Cody Michaels dude a lot. And that's why, like I said, I mean, I see Aaron now. I didn't even notice that when they introduced him or whatever, they said he was from Pittsburgh, but I totally see what you're saying now. But yeah, I was just like, this guy has to be somebody because they're giving him something. You know, he's not just getting squashed here.
Yeah, just like I said, I think it was a kid that Shane was trying to do something for. And who, if you want to do something for the guy, who better to do it? Who's better to work with him than you yourself? Like, let's not put him in there with New Jack or something. There ain't gonna see shit from it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do it.
I mean, it goes back to like what everybody says like decades ago. Like, you know, if Shane didn't give him anything, then who did he beat? Mm-hmm. He just went out there and just, you know, beat up a dish rag. Big deal. You know? So yeah, he gave him some spots and what the kid could do. The kid did all right. Never saw him again, ever. Whatever.
So as this excuse me, after Douglas he beats Michaels, and then Francine pretty much eggs him on, hey, you should break his neck too. Because now the you know, that's the gimmick now. We're just gonna break everybody's neck.
Like it's easy.
Yeah.
You know, like he's snapping into a Slim Jim. Fucking neck.
After the match, Douglas puts Michaels in a full Nelson in an attempt to break his neck, apparently with a full Nelson. But Pitbull 2 comes back out, and this time he's followed out just like this. Like these, I think the gist of it is like he came out at the beginning, and all these guys got him out, and they've just been following him around the locker room the whole time because they just kind of all come out. They all come out together again.
Yeah, Carrot Top and the J Bones, they're back.
The opening act.
Hey, you guys, keep on talking about this. I hear my fucking dog downstairs wants to go outside.
What, Carrot Top and the J-Bros? You want us to keep talking about Carrot Top and the J-Bros?
I don't know how much else I can get out of Carrot Top.
Whatever you talk about, I don't want my dog to shit on the floor, so just keep talking.
That carrot is juiced, man.
Them J-Bros, man, they were something else. I ain't never seen no J-Bros like that.
After I got watching it like a couple times, I did realize that's what it was. Because there was a couple episodes, I don't know if you've been watching since you were out or whatever, but Sal Balomo formed a little faction, and it was all these guys.
The J-Bros? It was
he had Bad Crew, he had Little Guido and JT Smith.
Well, they were all out there. I saw JT out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was Sal Balomo's crew without Sal Balomo.
What about Sir Richard Michaels? Was he out there?
No, he was not.
What about Hunter Q Robbins? I think I saw Super Destroyer. I could just imagine. Yeah, why did they bring them back? The NW all Sal Balomo's guys. No.
But yeah, it's like they took all because I think Leather Lou Albano's gone because they took all his guys and put him with Sal Balomo and made him the family, and they were calling him Uncle Sal. It was actually pretty cool, and then they got rid of it, and I'm like, man, they should have kept that shit around.
It's probably because they didn't need fucking Bad Crew's license anymore. I totally love how the fact that the Bad Crew guy, the one guy, was already in the corner getting stomped on. Like he didn't do a run in. He did. I sat in the corner in.
Yeah, I did a lay down.
Yeah, he just all of a sudden this big melee takes place and there's a Bad Crew guy getting stomped on in the corner. Like, all right, whatever. And then you got what's his name? Vegetable Lasagna. What was his name? The redheaded Jay Brown in the FBI.
Little Guido?
No, the redheaded Jabron.
I don't know what his real name was, but I call him Carrot Top to me.
Yeah, the Carrot Top Jabron. I'm gonna look him up.
You can type ECW Carrot Top.
Jabron.
You really did get that much more time out of Carrot Top? Good job.
I was explaining to him about Sal Balomo's first family.
Oh, okay.
The
stable that should have succeeded. The stable that should have stayed around.
It made Jimmy Hart envious.
So our next segment on this show is the ECW return of Chris Candido, and I have to write down here, the guy that did the Krylon didn't know how to spell Candido.
He spelled his real name. He didn't spell his working name.
Yeah, he spelled it Candito. Chris Candido. So let's see. Last time we saw Candido was what, Cabrini? In ECW, I mean.
Well,
unless you want to count what I talked. Yeah, like I said, Nate. Unless you want to count what I said last week when he was part of that pull apart. I was like, oh, we got to be getting to Chris's return match because he was in that pull apart. But I don't want to. Working wise, yeah, this is the first time since Cabrini.
He has left the WWF. Aaron and I kind of discussed it last week. His last appearance in the WWF was at SummerSlam '96. Now he is back in ECW, and he is going to have a match against Spike Dudley. And I don't know if it's an odd choice, but it's just like they just brought Spike in, and we just saw like a couple of weeks ago this dynamic thing that he did, and now.
All right, well, let me ask you, Nate. Now that you're going there, let me ask you: do you think he was the right guy to do it to? After you saw what happened?
Yeah. I mean, I see your point. I totally see your point. But yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, we got this brand new character and we're going to put him in here as an enhancement talent pretty much. And then as the match progresses, as things go down.
Well, I think it was a good choice.
I bet you if you were there and Candido was in the ring already, they probably played Spike's music. And then to the people that were there, probably thought it was going to be another Spike squash, the guy gets the heel heat, Spike comes in, whatever his gimmick spot was, kind of thing. See you later, Chris Candido. But yeah, I mean, but the way they edited it made it look like Chris Candido was a much bigger deal, but still didn't take any away the shine from Spike.
Mm-hmm.
I might be thinking too, I don't know, small about it or whatever, but not thinking about bigger picture. The reason I think Spike's a good choice, and like I said, I've never been like the biggest. I wasn't a fan of Spike Dudley in the WWE. I didn't like it, but I get him in ECW, But I think the reason he's the right choice for this, because if Chris Candido comes into the company and tells me, hey, I have this move where I go to the top rope and I powerbomb this guy off of it, I'm like, who you could launch like a motherfucker? This guy over here. You can't. But you put him in there with Spike, he can fucking launch. The kid can take the bump.
If he did it to Val Puccio, it's like power bombing a fucking sleeper sofa.
Yeah, I mean,
beanbag full of eggs.
And he did he did throw Spike Dudley. I mean, he powerbombed he threw him a hell of a distance.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, we can launch this motherfucker through the fucking air, and it'll look fantastic, and it'll be like devastating right out the bat. And Chris did give him a little bit in the match, and I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a good little 4 or 5 minute showcase for Candido to come in, and I enjoyed it.
I'm not even a Candido fan at all. I could do a whole other show on why I don't like Chris Candido, but I mean, he looked great. He really did. It was his opportunity. He totally like stole the moment and looked tremendous.
I actually wrote down.
One of my favorite things. Oh, sorry, Nate. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead first.
And he did one of my favorite things too. Like he got the people. Like when they first came in, they were booing him and saying, "We want Sonny," you know. And then he got on the mic and was like, "I wrestled the first match here. I love ECW, or I'm back, and I want to build this place up because right now it's a fucking piece of shit."
Like, yes, he said shithole. Yeah, he said shithole. It's a shithole
right now.
Well, pretty much.
I love when a wrestler gets the fans on it and then just pulls the rug right out from underneath him. I love it.
What I wrote down was one of my notes was Chris Candido's back in ECW, and I'm excited because that means within like 6 or 7 months, I'm going to get to watch Chris Candido do his Terry Funk.
Yeah. Oh,
yep.
That'd be great.
Pretty much.
The only person did a better Terry Funk than Candido was Dick Slater, because Dick Slater just pretty much did Terry Funk his whole career.
Yeah, I know. Since the 70s.
They're like, we can't get Terry Funk for the territory. It's all right. We can get Dick Slater.
Will they make him Jimmy
I'd rather fight Terry.
Instead, they wrapped him up in a Confederate flag throw blanket and sent him out to the ring.
It's like, oh, people will love this.
Yeah, people will love this in fucking Montreal.
In New York.
Yeah, we're in Poughkeepsie.
Here's the rebel, Dick Slater. Yeah. Oh, look, he's going to wrestle in Harlem. That'll get over.
Just run out there to Rocky Top and have a good old time, buddy.
Grab a hold.
Grab a hold.
No, it's hold. It's hold, not a hold. God damn it, they didn't teach you anything at that wrestling school you went to? Grab a hold.
I swear this is the only podcast where you go from fucking ECW in 1996 to Dick Slater in 1986 within fucking
1976. It's him and Paul Jones still doing the foreign object gimmick. The old lady in the front row yelling, "It's got it in his trunk." That's his fucking dick, lady. There's nothing in his trunk but his dick and his thumb. There's nothing there. I'm telling you. Is Dick Slater alive?
I don't fucking know.
Slater's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
All right, fuck Dick Slater then.
Yeah, he's dead. And he did like a lot of bad shit at the end of his life.
No shit.
Yeah,
he had a feud with Paul Jones.
Died in 2018.
Yeah, like he pulled a knife on a lady and stabbed her and all kinds of shit.
I watched a lot of his bad shit today versus Paul Jones. And I'm sure it was his fault. He had a feud with Baron Von Raschke over the Mid-South. It was like, I think the title had a zip code. It was that so like my minor around here. It was like the Mid-South Dante's neighborhood 21224 whatever. What was it? The Ultra Premium Leaded Championship or something?
I want to read this.
When Dick Slater dead?
By 2000, the crazy thing is he managed to pull this all off while in a wheelchair, apparently. By 2003, Slater was largely confined to a wheelchair after a number of back surgeries. In June 2004, Slater was convicted of attacking his then-girlfriend, Teresa Halbert. On December 27, 2003, it was reported that Slater had stabbed Halbert with a butcher knife. Slater claimed that the night before the incident, he had received a shot of morphine and two 40-milligram Oxycontins at an emergency room related to his numerous back injuries. In an interview with Mid-Atlantic Gateway, Slater said that it was all drug-related. Most of it, I mean. I couldn't tell you what happened. If I didn't know what happened, I really don't know what actually took place, other than I woke up in intensive care in the hospital. I had gone to the hospital.
Translate says, I know exactly what happened. I just don't want to say exactly what happened. Because the shit is still in litigation.
Don't put my hand on the Bible on this. I don't know what happened, but
yeah, I felt like I was reading a Trump speech when I was reading that. Just rambling. I don't know what happened. I mean, I know what happened, but I don't know what happened.
She's all wheeling over to her, stabbing her and shit.
That shit happened to me once at work, like a long time ago. These two dudes got into it, and I'm not a rat or a narc or anything. And I just said I didn't see nothing. They were like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I didn't see shit." And they were like, "You're on camera." Like they were like, "We can see you looking at it." Like, oh man,
shit.
If it involved Dick Slater, I didn't see shit.
Neither did he.
But no,
I can just imagine him. I can imagine him charging at you in his wheelchair with a big sword sticking out. You know what I mean? Like he's in the Robot Wars games. He's got his little his mag wheel wheelchair, like the Confederate flag.
The guy's like, coming up next, it's Killbot versus Captain Rebel Dick Slater.
Yeah. Make way for the handicap. He had his own entrance away.
Killbot just hits him with this flamethrower.
Yeah, those handicap guys. They really got it made. He had a ramp for him where they just lost him. He got to the curtain and just pushed him out the curtain and he's in a wheelchair, just zipping down there. He's in a very special Olympics.
We ended this show, and I have a question here, because this is, we're in, almost November of 96. Is this probably almost Scorpio's send-off from ECW, because he's about to go to WWF as Flash Funk.
We're a couple episodes away from it being his final match.
Dude, I thought we've seen this match to death, man.
We really have, and that's why we actually one of the reasons that we skipped last week's episode, the October 22nd episode, was because the majority, and it's not Sandman. I'm sorry, I guess I'm wrong. The majority of last week's episode of ECW was just the match from August between Scorpio and Jericho, and I was like, well, why are we going to watch something we've already watched? So that's why we skipped a week, folks. Just so you know, but. We're joined in progress, former tag team partners, former tag team championship partners. It is Too Cold Scorpio versus the Sandman. They joined it in progress. It's kind of cut up a little bit. There wasn't a lot to write about the match, honestly.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was what it was, and I guess they played their hits, right?
Right. Yeah.
For what they showed you.
Yeah, and like I said, this does feel like they're wrapping up. They're wrapping up Scorpio's involvement in ECW. This was his former tag team partner. They've had a feud, and the feud they've never really paid it off because they went into the Sandman Raven thing. So I think this is a way to pay it off, kind of. Even though the Sandman Raven thing bleeds its way into it, it's kind of a way to pay it off for the fans since Scorpio's about to head to the Fed.
Oh, well, goodbye, Scorpio. Thanks for coming.
Enjoy your Funkats.
Yeah,
I'm sure he
don't
did.
forget your pipe.
And then Godfather's going to steal your gimmick.
And Scorpio, he misses the tumbleweed, and Sandman pins him. It's pretty anticlimactic, honestly, but it is what it is.
And I mean,
you didn't want to bury him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you never knew. Paul never knew. I mean, Paul probably knew this ain't going to last long. Him going, you know what I mean?
I'm going to get him back.
Yeah, pretty much. Give me 3 months.
Yeah, he's a dime bag away from getting released.
Pretty much. Yep. One test away.
Which, God bless him, he didn't. He actually hung out in the WWF for 2 years, pretty much. But I actually like as much as we talked about the bad acting with the shit with when they were, you know, in the house with, you know, Chad, you weren't here last week or the week before or whatever, when we talked about Lori Fullington with like the worst acting in wrestling history. But
yeah, she made Big Mama look like Meryl Streep.
Oh, well, Big Mama, I mean.
Willie.
Come on. You can't. They're two different things.
I actually didn't mind this. I thought this was, you know, actually the funny thing is the lack of the wife and just with the son being here actually made this better. I'm like, dump the fucking wife. The kid, you know, the kid comes in, he's dressed like his dad. He's dressed like the Sandman. There's like a fake out, like a hug.
But Sandboy, he didn't hug proper. He didn't hug right. He didn't even
Come on, he's fucking 6.
Fucking Sandboy knows no fucking psychology.
No.
Me in the fucking ring.
Never been to Memphis.
I don't know who trained this little fucking bastard.
Fuck no. No.
I asked him who Phil Mushnick was, and he said who?
Yeah.
It's like, who trained you? Fucking Blues Clues? Get the fuck out of here.
Blues Clues.
Yeah.
You notice that? Hey guys, this kid don't know who fucking Paul Bosch is. Little wiener.
Meanwhile, he's getting a Polaroid with the guy from the Bad Crew.
This is one of the nasty boys, right?
Hey, Dad, look.
Yeah. Sandboy, he looks like he has no idea what's going on. 2 left feet.
like Ronnie Garvin would say, he come out here, he got 2 left feet.
His timing was all off.
We beat up everybody, including Ronnie Garvin.
Fucking joke, man.
Tied his shoes together.
That Bob Roop was a phony.
Fucking Sandboy. Sandboy's a fucking joke. Fucking little
fuck Kendo Nagasaki. Fanboy sucks. Or Sandboy, whatever the fuck his name is.
Sandboy walked up to Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson, I don't know you.
I don't know you. And he pulled a gun on him.
And then up on the screen, there's the Black Scorpion. Sandboy. You remember preschool?
Uncle Bill Irwin. you remember your Aunt Al Perez?
Ole Anderson just backhands him.
Yeah. Like I said, Sandboy, he's done nothing to deserve being in the main events.
What do you mean?
I can hate him, man.
He had the best birthday party ever. What's the matter with you? Fanboy's the best thing on the show.
He's the best thing. He's the best second generation ever.
Like, of ECW original.
I was just gonna say Samboy's right up there with fucking Angelo Mosca Jr.
Oh, right up down there.
I fucking hate Angelo Mosca Jr. He's my least favorite wrestler ever. I would rather watch Motley Cruz.
Well, how bad is Jose Luis Sr.? If Jose Luis Jr. is terrible, why would you steal his name? Get out of here! Fuck Miguel Perez. Fuck.
But yes, now that we've spent 5 minutes, we're getting to the point here. Tyler comes out, hugs his father. It's all a fake out though, because Raven shows back up, hits Sandman with the cane, and DDTs him. Tyler and Raven do the Raven pose as we go off the air. My problem, I don't have a problem. I mean, a big problem I had was the fact that Stevie Richards got to defend the title and lose it for Raven, because I don't like that. I don't like somebody else defending the championship for someone. But also, do you think, like, did they not know Raven was going to be able to be back so soon? Because it seems like he's back really quick. So what was the point of changing the title without him involved in changing the title?
Well, whatever happened in Thailand, he had to get out of there quick.
Yeah.
Remember? Because they said he took him overseas.
Yeah.
And he's lazy.
He took little fanboy to Thailand.
Turns out that chick was a twink.
I mean, don't forget, Scotty's fucking lazy. He wants to do the least amount possible. I mean, look at it that way. Yeah, hey, if I can do this, I'll just sit here and we'll let the fucking retarded kid go out there and do it.
And that retarded kid was Stevie Richards.
Hey, Stevie, where's the other retarded kid? And his whore wife, mom, or whatever. Hey, I'm just going to sit over here and lay in the corner with my big dumb foot. I got the gout.
You got to give him credit. I think he's the first and only pro wrestler to ever work an injury angle, but the injury was the gout.
Yep. I had too much shrimp.
I also respect him because
that Red Lobster killed me.
I also respect him because he's one of the. I respect him because I listened to interviews with him and stuff. He's one of the only wrestlers that just admits this shit too.
Of course.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. Yeah, I didn't do anything.
He laid there in the corner and watched a whole great match go on and shit. And I might get up, maybe. What's the finish?
He said he was like working with Sandman. It's like I come out there, I hit him with a couple trash cans, chair, I throw him off the ladder.
It's not like working Sandman. Sandman is he's way more detail oriented. Like it may not look like he is, but he is. Raven really is just we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear.
Well, that being said, to wrap up the show, like you said at the beginning of the show, Chad, this was a really, I mean, I know we had some fun, which is what we do here, but overall, this is another really entertaining episode of ECW. We are on a roll at this point, and I think we're going to be on a really good roll all the way up to the pay-per-view. And that's in what? 6 months. So we're in store for a lot of good episodes and a lot of good stories and a lot of good shit coming up in ECW.
Is that when ECW goes downhill then? After the pay-per-view?
I always say the pay-per-view, the first pay-per-view is when it peaks. And again, there's still great shit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, right after that pay-per-view, it just fucking tanks. That's not but I just think at the pay-per-view is when it peaks as a company. And then after that, you have your peaks and your valleys, but overall,
It continuously starts to decline.
Yeah.
Not on a rapid level, but it does. I mean, it's you know they you know, for lack of a better term, they just blew the load on the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal, man. That was a big deal.
And there were a lot of behind the scenes, and you take every story for what it's worth, and everybody has their story and everybody has their side of the story. But if you read Todd Gordon's book, it was around the time of the pay-per-view where, you know, Paulie starts the I joked with Aaron last week because we saw Chris Candido, and Aaron said, "Oh, I think this is for Candido's first appearance back." And I said he got to the arena, and Paul Heyman said, "Do you have a credit card?" But
Yep.
the you know, you're getting into after the pay-per-view, and especially after Todd Gordon leaves, then you start getting into the whole, you know, we're robbing Peter to pay Paul financially, and that hurts things. And
I think the other issue is before the pay-per-view, especially for WCW, they were probably a nuisance. But after they get on pay-per-view, it's like, okay, now you've delved into being possible competition. So what can we do to fuck you over? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, I can see that. I can see all of that. Like, not on the radar, and then all of a sudden, all right, who are these people?
Mm-hmm.
What do they got going on?
I'm sure.
Eric was like, I can't have two promotions that are cooler than me.
Well, and not just that, but I'm sure WCW after the pay-per-view was like, oh, because they probably didn't think much of ECW because the only talent they've taken from ECW so far was the Public Enemy.
And me.
So like, oh,
well, they took Chris, Dean, and Eddie.
Well, I guess you're right. Yeah, that's true.
And me.
And Chad.
Yeah. We'll pay you to not do anything. All right. That's what I do anyway.
Well, we are going to sign off for this week's episode of Reliving the Extreme. Chad, it's good to have you back.
Right on, man. I should be up and running, you know. I mean, from here on out. I'm losing body parts by the week, but it's all right.
Well, we want to encourage you to tell anybody that you talk to that's an old school wrestling fan to check out Reliving the Extreme. I want to thank everybody who so far, because like I've said before, now every time the show comes out on all your audio podcast apps, it also launches on YouTube, and we have been increasing YouTube subscribers, so I'm happy to see that. If you're listening on YouTube, thank you for listening, and of course, share those links.
Hey,
and
I also want to give a shout out to my buddy from around here, man, that I've been listening to his stuff, Bo James.
Outlaws and Independents?
Hell yeah.
That shit's a great podcast. That is a fantastic podcast.
He doesn't do enough of them, man. I wish he would do more like we do, or you know, or what you guys want to do, like every week, something like that, man. I think I binged listened to him all in like 2 days.
That is the first new wrestling podcast to come out in probably like 4 years that I actually was like, click the subscribe button. Because, you know, honestly, 90% of wrestling podcasts fucking suck. But Bo's show is fantastic. Yes, you're absolutely right.
He puts a lot of work into it. You know, everything he does, you know, everything. He does his work. He's not a bone. He does all his homework. Everything is well, you know. Bo's a good guy, man. And I hope one day we can get him on the I mean, I like to have him on the Hall of Fame show, honestly.
Yeah.
Because he would know, because this East Tennessee thing over here, man, where I live is oof. The names that come out of people's mouths around here. What? Ain't nobody heard of him in 60 years. But he's a good guy.
Absolutely. I totally agree. But yeah, thank you for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next week on Reliving the Extreme. Have a great week.